Everybody always asks me, how did you get started in lactation? So I'm going to tell you so that you can always refer back to this post when you're ready to start working with moms and babies. First of all, there are 3 different pathways to becoming a lactation consultant. I chose pathway 3, and that's because I had a bachelor's degree in biology, so I already had most of my 14 health science courses required to become a lactation consultant. All I needed were my clinical hours and my breastfeeding education hours. At that time, you only needed 90 breastfeeding education hours. The 5-hour communication requirement was not there yet. Pathway 3 is set up as kind of like a mentee, mentorship, apprenticeship, internship type of situation where you learn under someone who is already in the profession. I was lucky enough to get an internship in the hospital, and as a non-nurse, that is very rare because they typically don't let non-nurses work inside of the hospital. I actually had 4 IBCLC mentors, which is pretty rare, 3 of whom were non-RNs and 1 of whom was a nurse. So I learned a lot in the hospital setting. There are different requirements for clinical education when it comes to pathways 1, 2, and 3. So pathway 1, you're already a recognized health professional. You don't actually have to be under anybody. You don't have to learn from anyone. You're just kind of winging it. So if you're going that route, I would highly recommend finding somebody to mentor you for a few hundred hours. And you need 1,000 hours, which usually you can get in a couple years working full-time. But you have to be working with moms and babies directly. So if you're a speech pathologist working with older kids, you're not necessarily getting those lactation specific hours because you're not working with breastfeeding people. Pathway 2 requires you to get a whole degree. So if you have a degree already, it doesn't really make sense for you. But you get a degree in like human lactation and you get 300 clinical hours plus your breastfeeding hours. And pathway 3, which is the route I went, you need 500 clinical hours under a mentor who has to be a lactation consultant, and they have to sign off on all your hours. I'm biased, but I think this is the best pathway because you learn directly from lactation consultants, and you can basically start off your whole career as a lactation consultant instead of like going to nursing school or whatever. However, when you are a lactation consultant without another credential, and especially without a degree, it is very difficult in the job market unless you plan to go into private practice. And as we all know, private practice can ebb and flow. Do you have questions about becoming a lactation consultant? If you do, drop them in the comments and I'll try to get to all of them. And if you want to book a call with me to figure out how to become a lactation consultant, we can do that too.